We have a very quick show for you today. Hard stop in about 30 minutes. It's just some updates.
Yes, indeed. So what did you tell me last night? What week is it? So I can get it right.
It's National Coin Week.
So it's National Coin Week, and we learned this through AppMex, April 21st through April 27th. So this is a week to get your coins. It's National Coin Week. We always recommend AppMex. They've been great to us for the last 5 years. Also, we recommend friend of the show, Andy Shackman, CEO of Miles Franklin. You can always go to Miles Franklin and get your silver, or wherever you may like to get your silver. And it is National Coin Week, so that's pretty cool. We are in National Coin Week. There's just some articles we were going to go over real quick that I thought were interesting with the information that they're bringing out, and just some things to be looked for on the horizon. And I thought those were something we talk about. Do we want to wait for, how many people you want to wait to get in the room?
We don't have time for that tonight.
Man, I got to quit. This is quick articles. I go in and out of them real quick.
But I'm saying they can catch the replay.
Okay. All right. So anything, what do you, okay, somebody coming in. Okay, New Jersey in the house. Okay, New Jersey in the house. Respect to New Jersey. Is that Brick City? What part of New Jersey?
He always tells you what part. I can't remember though.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, I can't remember. So.
That's where he always says it, but I can't remember.
All right. New Jersey is in the house, and we appreciate you, sir. We definitely appreciate you. All right, so let me get to some of these articles. They're kind of quick and easy, but they have very good information.
South Jersey.
South Jersey. Okay, I got it. So this article I came across here. So Venezuela is to use cryptocurrency for oil sales. And I'm sorry, I forgot to say, be stacking ounces and sats and anything else you may want to stack. Be stacking, keep stacking. This is the time to stack. Venezuela to use cryptocurrency for oil sales. That's interesting. So most people understand that Venezuela is a very, it's rich in, what would you say?
Natural resources.
Yes, it's rich in oil, rich in gold, precious metals. So this is what they're trying to do. So let me just read it real quick. Venezuela is speeding up its implementation of cryptocurrency in crude and fuel exports, following the U.S. reimposing oil sanctions on the country. So when you don't do what the United States asks you to do, what do? They impose sanctions. And so this is why you have to, as another country, find a way to move around the U.S. dollar. Okay. So according to unnamed people familiar with the plan, Venezuela's state-run oil company, PDVSA, is working on accelerating its plan to increase digital currency usage to work around these sanctions. So they're trying to work around the sanctions because what the sanctions do essentially is they give you limited access to U.S. dollars. And that's really what it gets down to. So they have to try to work around that. What would you think about that?
I understand what Venezuela's doing, but they're using cryptocurrency loosely. Like, what are they using?
Yes, this is the thing. They're keeping it quiet because cryptocurrency, they're not saying which cryptocurrency. They're saying they're going to use cryptocurrency.
Les Square hasn't been on since you lost your voice.
Oh, really? And my voice is back.
Yeah,
It's back. It's back. Yeah. I put some work in on it. So this company, this is their oil company, the national oil company in Venezuela, PDVSA, has already started its plan to shift towards digital currency. In 2023, the company began slowly moving oil sales to USDT. So now they're moving to the USDT, and then they're going to try. I don't know if that's the one they'll keep, or if they'll move into something else.
But it's not XRP, y'all. I know y'all are waiting, but it's not.
The process will have the okay. According to close sources, the shift to the digital currencies reduce the risk of sale proceeds getting frozen in foreign bank accounts due to the measures. There we go. That's the main point. If you're using U.S. dollar and there's sanctions and things like that, your money can get frozen in foreign bank accounts, right? And they want to move around it. We understand Venezuelan was had a lot of turmoil over the last probably 5 to 10 years. So they're trying to get back on their feet. And so these are some of the measures they're taking to get back on their feet. If you watch some of the documentaries and stuff about Venezuela, what is it? The Venezuelan, I forget what it's even called. They just throw it in the street like trash. It's paper. It's garbage. You can't even use it. It's not worth anything. And it's really hard on people over there. It's a tough place. A lot of people have fled Venezuela. A lot of Venezuelans have fled, going to Colombia. I don't know where else. Where they go after that? I know they go to Colombia because they have some kind of I don't know. Maybe they feel like they owe them something because back in the '90s, you remember back in the '90s, guys? If you was there back in the Pablo Escobar days, it was rough in Colombia, and a lot of Colombians were fleeing and going to Venezuela, and so that they could get some kind of safety. So Colombia seen it like, okay, we will reciprocate what you did for our citizens. We will do for yours as the Venezuelans flee to Colombia.
But they go to Guyana, they go to Brazil.
Yeah. But Colombia's right there. Like they got a road where you can just go right
Guyana's
through.
right there.
Well, I don't know if Guyana is accepting of them as Colombia is, because they have it set up where you guys can come in.
Guyana's friendly. Now I don't know how they take to them now that they're fighting over Essequibo, but
Yeah, they coming through.
Before that, they wouldn't have had a problem.
They coming for your oil deposits.
Hi, Crip Work. Thank you so much for joining.
Crip Work, what's up, Crip Work? I ain't seen you in a while.
He said, with the U.S. making oil, what crypto or stock do you think would spend? He said that they're using USDT.
They started.
They specifically.
They shifted to USDT, but don't know if they'll stay there. But because they're very vague. They're using the word cryptocurrency,
and they're not a catch-all.
Yeah, they're not saying which one they would actually use. So there'll be more to come on that because this is a big deal when you have a major oil supplier coming off the dollar. That's a big deal. These little stories pop up and people should just like, oh, that's why you got to try to stay on top of global news to understand how it may affect you where you are. And so that's definitely why if we catch stories, we try to bring them to you and say, hey, this was kind of important. It goes on, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, but it did come from watcherguru.news. So that's a pretty good. He's good. So we're going to go again. So we just talked about cryptocurrency, right? Forgive me, phone moving a little slow. So let's go to another one. All right, so we'll go into this one. This is Watcher Guru as well. Very reliable source. It says BRICS to replace US dollar with cryptocurrency for trade. So now the dollar is getting replaced in another region of the world by cryptocurrency. They didn't mention what it was. According to a recent statement from the chairman of the Russian State Duma Committee on Finance and Market Analysis, the BRICS bloc is working to replace the US dollar with cryptocurrency for trade. Indeed, Akasako, who is the leader or the head of the financial group, discusses the alliance to work to utilize digital assets in place of fiat currency for international transactions. Once again, moving around the dollar because before all transactions had to be settled in the US dollar, right?
But still being real vague about, like they're using cryptocurrency, like it's too general.
Yeah, it's because they haven't let out the bag what they'll actually use.
There's about 20 people in the room.
Yeah, what's up?
We want to welcome all of you. It's a really, really short show tonight, you guys. We're really sorry. Thank you so much for joining Shook Focus Digital. That's the name we haven't seen before. I'm not feeling great, y'all, but we are on a hard time crunch. And really, we can't even stop at 9 because he needs at least 10 minutes to.
Whenever he come down, tell us to stop. I'll stop.
No, he's not gonna.
So And I'll just get through these articles. It's not a big deal. Throughout the last year, the BRICS has the BRICS bloc has embraced its opportunity to create multipolar world. Its five-nation expansion effort enacted in 2023 annual summit was one of the key pillars of that. So, however, so true it is commitment to the further embrace of local currencies in unilateral trade dealings. So they want to use local currencies. So BRICS, we got Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So they're going to want to use those currencies in trade along with a cryptocurrency.
But they want to use the cryptocurrency for international trade.
And you never know if it's going to be some kind of CBDC. If you never know what kind of cryptocurrency,
But they
will
want to
actually use.
develop their own CBDC.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. And they have it, the BRICS, because you know the BRICS Nation Plus, it's a lot of people applying to the BRICS, especially important nations like Saudi Arabia. Nigeria is going to apply for BRICS. So there's a lot going on out there, y'all. I mean, there's a lot going on in the crypto space on a large scale, if you will.
So Russia's saying specifically the developments would support the presence of increased digital assets as opposed to fiat offerings. They want the option of creating a platform that will unite the financial systems. So like a BRICS bridge.
Yeah.
And it would require stable coins or other digitized currency, which would integrate a clear way for the 10 BRICS countries to de-dollarize. It would also increase high and serious grave concern, that's a lot of words, with the US dollar being absent from any international dealing with the alliance members.
So we spoke on this a long time ago, but it is with the BRICS doing, it is an action of war because you're trying to
That's what Tony Blunt
destabilize.
is saying.
Yeah, you're trying to destabilize a country's currency by making all these moves and usurping it. That is active war, warfare.
So Tony Blunt, he's saying the same thing. He said destabilizing the dollar is going to destabilize our economy.
Yep.
Multiple large countries moving away from the dollar would be more effective than a physical war. U.S. citizens better not get too comfortable. There's an economic winter coming, and then we're going to add insult to injury.
Are we?
Yeah, because we running out of time.
That's cool.
So China's dumping the U.S. treasuries and buying gold. As the Chinese accumulate more and more gold, they're dumping the U.S. treasuries. This raises an important question. Who is going to keep funding the federal government's borrowing spree? China offloaded another $22.7 billion in treasuries. This was in February, which dropped total holdings down to $775 billion. China still ranks as the second largest foreign holder of U.S. debt. Who's the first largest holder? UK?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, anyway, it says the UK could overtake China and slide into the second position. So I'm guessing the UK, because we're the UK's children, that would make sense. Japan ranks as the biggest foreign U.S. creditor with 1.17 trillion in treasuries. The UK comes in third with 700 billion in U.S. treasuries. China's been divesting itself of U.S. debt for several years. I'm sorry, y'all. Chinese investment in U.S. debt hit a 14-year low in October. The sell-off is likely to continue. They are intentionally minimizing their exposure to the dollar, which means you should too. Chinese policymakers have seen how U.S. uses the dollar as foreign policy weapon. Let me read that again. Chinese policymakers have seen how the U.S. uses the dollar as a foreign policy weapon.
See, and we've talked about that time over time, that the dollar is weaponized. You know, just like we talked about sanctions in Venezuela, which really gets down to the access that you have to U.S. dollars. And you know, I repeat this to people all the time. When you're out of the country, it's not easy to get your hands on physical U.S. dollars. It's not easy. You know, you got to go to the bank. You got to pay for them. You got to buy them and pay. What do you call it? Not an interest rate, but a fee. You have to pay
The currency exchange fee.
currency exchange fee, but the place charges you And so now it's not even like if I need $1,000 US, I'm gonna have to pay, I don't know, 1,050, 1,100 for
Yeah.
US dollars. And so it's not easy to get your hands on US dollars outside of the United States. So when they put sanctions on you and you cannot access the US dollars, that is weaponizing the US dollar. And like they said in the article, they are using the U.S. dollar as it's an international weapon, something like that. And that is what they are doing, and the world is tired of it. That's why so many articles popping up about how we can use something else than the U.S. dollar for, and they're talking about oil, large trades with large amount of capital. And so they're trying to figure out, hey, we got to stop. We got to stop using this. And this is all war coming against the U.S. And people never understand, get like you said, you got to be ready. That's why we talk about flag theory. Have places that you could or necessarily ready to go if you need to go. To get away from all the chaos that may be coming your way or may already be there.
Should Focus Digital said the U.S. has been swinging at dollarized sword for years now, and there are other countries that are attempting to force a level playing field. Yes. Now, last month, Janet Yellen floated the idea of seizing Russians' frozen dollar-denominated assets and giving them to Ukraine. The Chinese aren't dumb. They realize the U.S. could put the same kind of squeeze on them. So if you recognize something makes you vulnerable, what do? You minimize your vulnerability and exposure to it. In other words, if you're concerned that the U.S. could pull a dollar rug out from under you, why not pull it out from them first? This seems to be their strategy. Meanwhile, the Chinese are stockpiling gold. We keep talking to y'all about precious metals, which is a reserve asset that carries no counterparty risk at all. Let me read this again. Meanwhile, the Chinese are stockpiling. They are buying it by the metric tons.
Metric tons, you hear that now?
It is a reserve asset that carries no counterparty risk.
What's a ton? 2,000 pounds. Metric tons. Incredible. This is gold. Our good friend of the show, Ricardo Hamilton, came on here about a week ago, and he said gold, silver are tier one assets that have no counterparty risk. So he was saying, in his eyes, he saw gold and silver as a way of savings. Don't keep $3,000 in your checking account and get 0.25% on it.
Or no percent, because you're using it.
Yeah, and so you might want to keep a portion of that in gold and silver, where you will get some percentage, and it's a way to keep your purchasing power of the dollar.
The People's Bank of China has added gold to its reserves for 16 straight months, adding over 300 metric tons of gold to its stash since it resumed reporting. Since it resumed reporting gold purchases in October of 2022. We gotta go though. There's about 30 people in the room. Normally our shows aren't this short, and this is why it's not this short. But we just kind of wanted to bring a few of those things to your attention. We will have a part two, I don't know, tomorrow, Friday. That way we can actually go into these.
It's just more reminders to be stacking and putting what you have left way in the right places.
Yes.
Because what they are doing is beating the dollar down all around the world, and you may not see it in the United States,
But you will feel it.
You'll feel it. You'll feel it. So be on top of these things. This is the zoom out macroeconomic view. Know what's going on the other side of the world. Know what moves are being made, and understand how it will affect you and your family, and what you are trying to do. Build for your family. Build for yourself. It helps you understand what you could be doing to what do you call it?
To mitigate
some of
the volatility,
the volatility, and some of the losses that are coming our way if you use the U.S. dollar. It is no, I'm saying it is fiat currency. We always like to talk about money, so we talk about gold, silver, money. Bitcoin is money. These are real money. The dollar is fiat currency. People call it money, but we understand what it is in this space. and we understand how to use it. And that is what we were trying to just say today with a couple articles that came across. It seemed kind of important, and maybe you guys go check them out, read them, and do some work on that. And
And set your watch list on Google for articles instead of getting those stupid articles like Chris Brown and Quavo. You want to get articles like this for your watch list. We love you guys. Crit work, let's square. Thank you so much. I hope I'm gonna be feeling better.
that's cool. Yeah, we're gonna
On
go
Friday, I just need some rest, I think.
losing gold, losing the dollar,
Losing land, yeah. And he
man.
said, Tony Blunt said, meanwhile, Chinese investors are buying the U.S. real estate in record numbers. They are. They probably own more than 50% of Manhattan, and they're not supposed to. So we're losing land assets and the power of the U.S. dollar, which was only built on trust.
Yeah, and they're buying up a lot of Africa with the Belt Road
Initiative.
Yeah, so they're cleaning up. They're cleaning up.
Now, normally we don't give you guys these short shows. This is why we don't give you these short shows. So now you know when the show's 2 hours long, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, we get it. But we got a hard stop here. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Simon just wanted to get that information to you, and hopefully we'll see you Friday or Saturday with a regular length show.
Yeah, we'll have something good for you. Chop up some good games and stuff like that.
Hi, Joy. Thank you so much. Hi, Let Freedom Reign. I'm sorry you guys are coming on and we're coming off, but we promise we'll have a regular length show for you. Bye, Tony. Thank you so much for joining, cousin. And, if you invest in Bitcoin, no problem, but maybe you should save in silver and or gold. Just start kind of giving those things thought because that is where they are putting all of their dollars. It's a major reserve asset that has absolutely no counterparty risk, so it doesn't hurt you to start working on that.
Yeah, only counterparty risk, and I'll leave it at this, is the cartel.
Oh, you talking about JP Morgan Chase?
Yeah.
Because when we say it, we're in Mexico, so we gotta be
Oh, the Jamie Dimon,
Yeah.
he's the counterparty risk for silver. Him and his trading desk. But we ain't gonna go into that. RICO charges, we know all the things about what they do, spoofing. But they're counterparty risk to silver, but they can't keep doing it because, as you've seen over the years, the price still goes up. They just don't let it go up as fast as it probably should go up.
organically.
Yeah, but you can't, as Andy Shackman would say, you can't manipulate the market. You can only manipulate the market in the direction it is going. So if it's going up, you could try to push the price down and buy more, and then let it go up, up. And that's what it seems to be doing. Push the price down, they buy more, let it go up, go up, go up. So if the market is naturally going up, you cannot manipulate it back down.
All right, family. We'll see you, cousins. Y'all make sure y'all support each other, do your research, and see where you want to put your fiat currency so it doesn't get eaten up. Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Mamba out.